Hi, my name is Yesheen Singh and I am a medical doctor by training. I've spent the better part of 20 years studying and observing the human body from a Western, Ayurvedic and functional medicine perspective in my desire to understand better how to live a longer, healthier and more active life. I came across plant-based nutrition as a therapeutic intervention for patients with chronic lifestyle-based diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, or heart disease or cancer, and began prescribing it to my patients in 2010 with wonderful, remarkable results. At that point, I was still quite omnivorous in my personal life. I grew up in a typical South African Indian household with lots of plant-based meals, but dairy and animal products were always part of the mix. But when I saw how impactful plant-based foods were, or plant-based diets were on my patients, I made the decision there and then to transition to a vegan diet myself. It has been quite the journey and quite an experience, experimenting with all of the different forms of plant-based diets. I remember spending a couple of years doing raw veganism and then experimenting with vegan keto or vegan food map, and all of this was really helpful because it helped me to understand what my body's nutritional requirements were, but particularly helped me to understand why plant-based diets are a key component in leading a lifestyle that supports health and wellness. Basically, it comes down to how plant-based diets contribute towards our ability to manage and reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, two key components in the disease-causing processes in the body. Whether you're talking about acute diseases like a cut on your hand or a fractured bone, or maybe a viral infection like COVID-19, to something a little bit more long-term like rheumatoid arthritis or some other autoimmune disease, or even cancer. Inflammation and oxidative stress are the underlying denominators for all disease processes within the body. So how does plant-based nutrition speak to these two processes? Inflammation is the body's early warning system, a way in which it signals a point of entry or damage to one part of the body to the immune system sitting elsewhere in the body. Sort of like shouting, "Hey, I have a problem here, please send help." So as you can understand, we need inflammation in our body because if we didn't have inflammation, we would be sitting ducks, susceptible to all sorts of opportunistic pathogens and environmental toxins that pass our way. But inflammation that is overactive or underactive is quite problematic. For example, a contemporary example would be the inflammatory cytokine storm that is part of the COVID-19 disease process. It takes the body from an ordinary flu-type disease process into something much more serious and much more severe. An example of the inflammation and immune system undershooting the mark is cancer, where the immune system allows damaged cells to replicate beyond normal controls. Foods can either add to the inflammation chatter in the body or quieten it down. Animal foods mostly exacerbate inflammation and make things a lot more noisier, making it a little bit more difficult to hear the really important messages that need assistance. Whereas plant-based foods are generally either neutral or anti-inflammatory in nature. Most of us know, for example, of turmeric and the curcuminoids that are present inside this wonderful herbal medicine. Curcuminoids have been shown to be as effective as pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories to combat pain and inflammation in the body, but without any of the side effects associated with the drugs. There are numerous examples of how phytonutrients in the plant kingdom help the body to manage and balance inflammation more appropriately. Oxidative stress refers to the creation of free radicals in the body in response to triggers from the world around us and the world within us. For example, excessive sun exposure, or pollutants in the air that we breathe or the water that we drink, or the electromagnetic radiation that we're exposed to from the electronics that we use. Part of this trigger process are oxidative stress triggers coming from within the body. The liver, for example, in its normal day-to-day metabolism, produces numerous volumes of oxidative stress triggers. And so basically what I'm saying is that if you're alive and you're living in the world that we live in, you are going to be experiencing oxidative stress. How healthily we are able to manage the impact of oxidative stress on the body determines how healthily we are able to live a long and active life. So these free radicals that are produced through oxidative stress, they are almost like Godzilla moving through Tokyo. They have no respect for structures and pathways and processes. They break through DNA, they break through telomeres, they break through cell walls and tissues and organ systems. Most of the symptoms of aging are basically the cumulative impact of oxidative stress on the body. So free radicals are enemy number one when we are looking at anti-aging medicine or anti-aging therapeutics. And the way in which the body is designed to combat free radicals is through our mitochondria. Now, mitochondria are little organelles that live inside our cells. We inherit them only from our mothers. So thanks, Mom, if you have good mitochondria. But what they do is they're able to identify, isolate, and deactivate free radicals in the body. And they do so by using antioxidants. Antioxidants are little chemicals that are found in our foods that make their way into our cells and into our mitochondria and support the mitochondria in their free radical scavenging functions. Most of our antioxidants come from plant foods, and certainly all antioxidants that are non-inflammatory and clean in nature come from plant foods. Basically, the more plant foods you eat, the higher your antioxidant levels, the better able you are to withstand oxidative stress in your life. So if you're living in quite a toxic world, you have lots of stress from a mental or emotional space, you're using lots of pharmaceutical drugs, you're maybe exposed to toxins from other sources, you want to make sure that you are maximizing your antioxidant intake from every different aspect of your diet. And for me, that translates into having a 100% plant-based diet. An important note here is that healthier, happier plants result in higher levels of antioxidants within them. A key reason why the health of our planet is intimately related to the health of our bodies. No matter how you choose to structure your diet, the choice of reducing your intake of animal-based foods and increasing your intake of whole food, plant-based meals with all of their beneficial phytonutrients and life-giving antioxidants will only stand you in good stead as you move towards a healthier, more active, longer life. Thank you.